Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
We live. We live. Yeah.
Is it just me?
Hey, yo, we got my ex in this bitch.
Is it just me?
I see you, Angela.
Is
You
this
walked in
so-so?
on the right time, too. Hold on, let me drop this for you.
Day and night to get a college degree. Ain't nobody that you feel would even know you're free. Right? You know you only do that for show you love.
Not me. Not me. Not me. Oh, yeah.
Show you love.
Shout out to my ex in this motherfucker, y'all. We doing this one for Angela one time. One more time. It ain't over. One more. They not. Especially that one right there. Angela, get security, get her the fuck out of here. Get out. Bye, bitch.
That's the show, Dada.
The last 7 days have been totally insane, but we made it. Now buckle up and get ready for the most organic conversation on the internet with your hosts, the Force, the King, the Kamikaze, the Great and Terrible. Up to it, down to it. Pour a glass and talk some trash. Welcome to the show, and thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a good time tonight right along with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Let's go up to it. Yeah!
For honor, for duty, for country. And all that good stuff, all the good things in between. We here on another Friday night. What's going on, ladies
It's
and
Friday night, and the
Yes,
mood
sir.
is right.
Yes, sir.
Gonna have some fun, show you how it's done. Eddie's Winslow's gay.
Eddie Winslow is gay. That's gay shit. He's gay as shit.
I thought you said he was dead, but then you said he
Damn!
Wow. He was gay.
Well, I mean, he's killing off man parts, so
Oh.
we missed y'all.
The shenanigans have already begun.
We missed y'all.
We are live.
Oh,
We live, and it's a
laugh.
problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. Y'all saw the title, though. Y'all know the kind of stuff we about to talk about today. So this is, if you are looking for a controversial show, this is probably going to be that one. All right? Tell your friends. All right? Tell them those scallywag concubines that you know. Tell them plug in. All right? We're going to have us a good time tonight, man. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And we can still call you that. And those are the only two things that exist. All right. Yep. We off to a bad start already. What's going on, y'all? We about to have us a good time. Enough is enough. Let's get straight to it. I'm your boy, the Great and Terrible Trey. We about to have us a good time and have us some good drinks. Let us know what you drinking on in the comments. Let us know what you if you smoking on something. Yeah, shout out to the greenery users. We doing that. Let us know in the comments. But we about to have us a good time. So without further ado, the man of the hour, Tower of Power. My man's right there with the new iPad, with the new camera, the new setup. He's ready to rock, man. Getting ready to get it in for the 2025 school year. The immovable force. Kev, talk to us. Good brother. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's good, family? Oh wow, I ain't even realized just how bad this. I mean, this looks good, but this looks bad. It's dad real, real dad-tastic in the background with the way my son and tore this place up. But had to get back to it. So yeah, new iPad, new gadgets, all the things, new bills which are unnecessary. Whatever. Happy Friday, people. We scratching and surviving over here, and if y'all can hear my kids screaming in the background, that should tell you everything you need to know. But cheers to the weekend. We have finished off, or are finishing off, our small batch of 1792. So that's in there. Because my son's not asleep yet, we're gonna drink some Celsius, and there's water here, and it's not Aquafina. So we just got a lot of things going on. We listen and we don't judge. Let's, you know.
At least not yet. At least not yet. We're not judging. I feel like there's going to be some judgment coming, but we'll get to that in a second. Down bottom, we got the gruesome twosome down here. We got the king and the kamikaze in the same building, in the same place. We happy to have y'all, man. Up to us. Let the people know it's good.
Good. Shoot, man, everything's everything. I'm doing fine like wine and getting better with time, and I hope you guys are too. I ain't got much today tonight, man. It's been a long week, so I'm ready for the weekend. Just trying to find energy where I can, trying to still figure out a way to bottle up my son's energy and figure out how to sell it so we can become trillionaires. And yeah, man, try to stay positive and try to make it do what it do.
I feel you, man. Look, it's another week. We survived. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's good. I ain't going to be too long with y'all. Let's keep it short and sweet. We had a long week. It's time to get into the weekend. So what's good?
It's time to turn up, baby.
Yes, sir. Let's go up to it.
Love to see it. They are turned up. We taking shots. It's showtime. It's game time out here, man. Oh, and also, because it's the first one, that's right. I gotta do the official with no hair. The locks are gone. That's right. The locks are gone. I got back to my natural hair state. You know what I'm saying? 25 years. I had 25 years with locks or dreads or cornrows or something like that, man. My last time in the barber chair, I was 17 years old. I turned 42 in a month. It was time to let them go. So for those of you who are tuned in and y'all thinking, who the fuck is that guy in the corner? It's me. Okay, it's still me. It's still me. I had a lot of people in the last week that I walked past or I walked up to or whatever, and they legit did not recognize me.
It's true.
Legitimately did not recognize me.
It's true. But as soon as you open your mouth and talk, they all know who the hell you were.
You goddamn right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
So it ain't take that long to figure it out.
Yeah. Ain't too much change. The hair just gone. That's all. The hair just gone. I'm still bringing the fire and brimstone. Don't get it twisted.
It looks good, man. Still looks good.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Hey, man, change is inevitable. So
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. It's inevitable and necessary, man. Level up time. So I'm glad I don't look weird. Speaking of weird shit, we gotta go straight to it. Jay Owens, I see you in the comments. What's up, brother? Yeah, we starting off early. All right. This is gonna be one of them. This is all Q's fault. This first video is all Q's fault.
To be clear.
All right. Before any of y'all start yelling at any of us, yelling at me or whatever, this is all Q's fault. Q found a video that we gotta ask some questions about. This guy. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let him tell the story. let's take a look at this. Wow. Maybe if it'll click, maybe
Hey,
we live.
we live.
Oh, it don't want to hit the. Oh, that's bullcrap. Here we go. All right, we good.
So we're about to get
So
canceled.
while I'm waiting for this to load up the way it's supposed to load up, um,
It's weird.
so if you, yeah, it's very weird. So we guys, right? We got male friends, we got female friends, right? If you happen to meet somebody and it's a dude, right? But then you find out that said dude used to be a chick, right? Y'all follow me?
Mm-hmm.
You find out said dude used to be a chick. If you proceed to holler at said dude who used to be a chick, is that gay?
I'm confusing.
Is that gay? Let's find out. Let's hear this guy's story.
I'm not, bro. Y'all gay. Whatever, dog. I'm not gay.
All right. Great way to start. Let's start it again.
Bro, whatever, dog. I'm not gay, bro. I'm not, bro. Y'all.
No, still nothing?
Oh, and
Oh,
this is tragic.
well then.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is the dude, by the way. Is this the dude? So like if this is the dude, all right, we're gonna hear a story whenever it loaded, but like if this is the dude,
Why they blur out her face?
it's a man
I,
face.
I, there needs to be more context because, like,
But he met her as a dude.
but I mean, it.
So he a little gay.
I
He a little gay because he approached her thinking she was a man.
Dog, I'm not
That's
gay, bro.
I'm
I'm
not
not, bro. Y'all gay. Whatever, dog. I'm not gay. Hey, can y'all tell me if this make me gay? My man's invited me to a bachelor party. So when I get there, none of the strippers is trying to get down. So he walk up to me, he like, I want you to meet somebody. He like, this my man's Rodney. So I'm like, what up though? Me and Rodney get to kicking it. Rodney get a few drinks and Rodney like, yeah, I'm a trans man. I'm like, what do that mean? He said, I used to be a woman. I transitioned into a man. I'm like, that's crazy. We get a few more drinks. Rodney get to showing me all the pictures from when he used to be a woman. He like, this is how I looked. He started showing me pictures of when he had titties. He even started showing me pictures and videos of him squirting. So I'm like, you still can do this? He like, I still got the parts for the squirting. Say less. We sneak off. We go in the bathroom. I'm killing Rodney from the back. Killing Rodney. They all bust in, taking pictures, recording. Talking, we knew you was gay. How? This is a woman. It's a vagina. Bro, whatever, dog. I'm not gay, bro. I'm not, bro. Y'all gay. Whatever, dog. I'm not gay.
All right, so is he gay?
Okay, so I want to take a little bit of his gay off the table because he didn't approach Rodney like that. Rodney was introduced to him, you know what I'm saying, and they was just talking, and then he found out. So I'm gonna take a little bit of his gay off the table. However, I'm still talking to Rodney. It's got to at least be
You're
a little
still
gay.
talking to Rodney.
Like it's at least got to be a little gay. It's a little. I'm gonna take some of the gay off the table, but it's
Certainly kind of
still
gay.
like a little bit gay.
So,
But it's a
It's like
chick.
7% gay.
not.
But for all intents and purposes, though, it's a girl.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like 7% gay.
I heard had in there. So obviously,
Huh?
this person Rodney didn't have a lot of the material that the previous Rashika or whatever her name used to be previously had. So, which means the only part left was but so you're telling me that Rodney looked like a Rodney, and you knew because you said you was hitting it from the back. That's a no for me, dog. That is nah. That's a no for me, dog.
All right, Rich. What percentage of gay is it?
Why are we like percentage? We talk about percentages.
We talk about percentages.
We talk about percentage.
Kev said it's only 7% gay.
Because by definition,
it's only 7% gay.
Because by definition, it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a woman. So by definition, whether it donated its titties to science or not, it's still a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you were born. So like, if you boil it down, he had sex with a woman, but it's like 7% gay because like while you was breaking down Rodney's situation, you was still talking to Rodney.
Whole time it was still a Rodney. It was
Rodney could have been lying. You know what I'm saying? And then when y'all got to the bathroom, Rodney whip it out, and you like, whoa,
what you gonna do with that?
Yeah. So you was invested in Rodney. You know what I'm saying? So you knew otherwise. So it's like 7% gay.
I don't know how he gets around. At some point, you gotta open your eyes, and when you open your eyes, you know it's Rodney still.
You can't even blame this on the alcohol. Like you willingly kept drinking to tell yourself this is gonna be okay. See, this is so you wasn't getting any action from anybody else, from the other strippers, right? So you decided. You know whose fault it really is? The man's. It's the man's that said, I want you to meet somebody because he knew what was going on. He knew what type of person that you were and set you up.
Diabolical.
Okay. So he's like probably like 38% gay.
I'm gonna take.
We have movement. We have a 5x increase in the gay.
Because right? Because you know if the friend brought him to you to meet him, knowing that you were a little wild, that means they already suspected you was a little gay. So you were a little more than a little gay.
I'm gonna move it up a couple notches from where you put it, only because in the middle of the story he broke down like how he broke it down to Rodney.
He did say I was beating Rodney from the back, like, and like you say that name, like, and then just like keep going. Nah. All right, he's like a good 49% gay.
Like he understood the awkwardness of it. Like, yeah, technically, biologically, Rodney is still a woman. But when you pulled that ponytail back and you seen that 5 o'clock shadow and heard the voice, it just threw you off. So you just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna just hit this from the back."
Rodney voice is probably soft though.
I kept drinking though. Nah, don't they got stuff they can do the surgery and change your voice.
Apparently Rodney can't afford to attach a part to the parts, so he ain't got, you know what I'm saying, they can only get one piece done at a time and started with titties.
I mean, you know, we don't know. Rodney was probably strapped.
Which is gay.
That's gay.
That would make him 100% gay.
That's 100% gay. Yeah, I would say that the percentages are all out the window now. It's 100% gay. So Rodney was strapped with a strap, and saw Rodney when Rodney used to squirt and said, "Yeah, I want me some of that."
That's 100% gay.
Yeah, you know, the more listen, man, the more we break this down, the more
the gayer it becomes.
Yeah. But when we first watched this, all right. So transparently, y'all, when we first watched this in the pre-show, we all were like, it's weird, but it's not gay. You know what I'm saying? But actually,
well, it's still weird. Let's be clear.
100% weird. No doubt. 100% weird.
Video.
This shit is still weird. It's very weird.
Yes, it's 100% weird.
You know,
Weird.
the fact that
200%.
he found out and then kept drinking to. I don't know. If your mind is telling you no, but you, but
I don't know how your eyes ain't telling you
I
no.
mean-
That's still Rodney. That's still my man's Rodney. You know what I'm saying? That's still my man's
My
Rodney.
man's with the girlish figure.
I was beating Rodney.
That's he
That
never
sounds
would
so
live that
wrong
down.
on so many levels, and not even sexually. That just sounds so wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I'm triggered now.
What's that? I was beating the brakes off Rodney. Nah.
Mm,
He didn't call her by her girl name, but he didn't call him by his girl name. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I was beating rah rah. Like you ain't covered that up. You ain't covered that up at all, dog.
At all, at all. You got to at least find out. You got to at least find out his girl name. You know. And it's still like I said. I don't know how you know open your eyes and see dude and don't be like hell no. But
I don't care how soft those features are.
listen, man. That's he took down a super stud.
Mm.
That's a super stud right there. Whew. Yeah, not me. I don't know. What y'all think? I need percentages in the chat. Y'all let it percentage wise on a scale of 0 to 100.
He said it's a cyborg.
Basically, because cause technically he basically just banged a chick that needs lots of therapy.
Sound like he needs some therapy too.
And
I mean, clearly he needs some therapy too.
you in the front yard arguing with niggas. Hey, am I gay? Nah, does that so that make me gay?
No, man, I'm not gay. You gay. Actually, usually when people say, "No, man, I'm not gay," you gay, that means they gay. So
Because even if, and it would never happen, I found myself in this predicament. I would never tell this story to anyone.
certainly not the internet. Least of all the internet.
You had to get
I would,
clarification.
yo,
Everybody,
I would first of all, no, let me not say that. I would take this to the grave.
He had to.
Yeah, this would go to my great grandchildren's grave. Like,
If you,
He couldn't because his boys busted in on him and was taking pictures and recording or something like that, right? So
he still came and told the internet. He still checked with
he,
us.
he pulled
it
a
sounded like he wanted to get ahead of the curve.
yeah, he pulled an 8 Mile. He was trying. He's I'm gonna put myself out there before y'all get a chance.
You could not waterboard that out of me. I'd have been like, it's AI. It's AI.
Yep, I blame everything. Any video of me, I would always say it was AI at this point. I'd always say it's AI.
That somebody found my doppelganger. It's
Man,
Wild
I've seen the
stuff.
episode. I've seen the episode of SVU just like this. It ain't real.
is anything anymore?
Yeah, I can't say I get down with it, but I will say on whatever scale we put this guy, I have to say he's got to be a couple percentages less gay than Darius McCrary. He's got to be a couple percentages less gay than Eddie Winslow, because Eddie Winslow paid for his girlfriend to fully transition. Apparently, allegedly, paid for his
He
girlfriend.
paid for his boyfriend to fully transition.
Yeah, paid for his man to be a girl. So
It's okay.
there's a video I seen a while ago where this guy basically just said we either discovered a bunch of mental illnesses or we just came up with a bunch of different ways to say gay, transgender gay, non-binary gay, two-spirit gay,
Wow,
lollipop lesbian or whatever it is gay.
they're tired of the simplicity of it, and they wanted to get technical and break it down,
Hey,
subcategories upon subcategories.
And let me be very clear. I don't really give a shit one way or the other. Okay, right? Don't care if that's what you want to do. That's what floats your boat. Fine. My thing is just don't bullshit nobody about it, man. If that's what you like. That's what you like.
Ain't none of our
Right.
business. Ain't none of our
That's true.
business.
You know, it ain't none of my business. That's what you like. That's what you like. You know what I'm saying? You know what you getting into later?
I'm gonna go grab a beer. What you gonna do?
I think I'll go suck some dick. All right, man. See
Oh,
you later.
well.
All right, man. See you later. I'll at you. Use a breath mint. Don't forget to brush your teeth. Right? Don't care. All right. Okay. We're going too far. We're going too far. We might be going too far.
I think we've been canceled. It's gonna happen.
Have we been canceled?
This might be the
It's
episode.
gonna. It's gonna
Y'all,
happen.
y'all let
It's
us
gonna
know if
happen.
y'all still there in the chat. Did we get canceled yet? Nah.
It's just
Oh boy.
fun.
We certainly ain't far off, that's for sure. All right. We gotta talk about the first thing that was in the headline real quick. Y'all know what's going on, and all of us um being DC area natives, right? Uh and Baltimore probably being next on the list. So between DC and Baltimore, probably being next up on the list. We got federalization of the police in DC. We got um, but what people are calling martial law, National Guard, and President Trump calling for other cities potentially to follow suit, depending on how things go in DC. My question to y'all is, what do y'all think about this move? Do y'all think it's a good move? Do you think it's overdue? Do you think it's over? What do you think is overkill? I guess that's the question. Is it overdue or overkill?
Hmm.
Don't
For
everybody jump in at once now. It's a lot to think about, huh?
it is only because there's so many layers to it. Like from the political aspect of it, it's already been in the works in DC for quite some time. It just was never implemented. But this is like the first time that it's actually come to fruition in the DC area. So it's for me, I feel like it's overkill. It's not like it's a shortage of current police and law enforcement within DC for it to be that necessary. If it was like some kind of raid or something happened like the purge, maybe. But ain't nothing going on.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm gonna come back to that. Something like the purge. I'm gonna come back to that. That's an interesting point. What you think, LB?
Um, I need to do some research on it, man. I've been hearing this, that, and the third of this is not anything new. Um, Heard somebody talking about this has been something that's been in place since like the '90s or something like that. But I mean, there's always you know one side, another side, and the truth. Um, so is it overkill? It could be. I would say, you know, what is the end result? What is the cost? Was there another way? Um, uh, you know, the resources. You're you know what were the resources? How was the resources allocated? Is this the way to do it? Certain things could be uh, uh, power moves, political moves, and things could always be done other ways. Depends on what result you're looking for. This is I will say that this is Probably not the end of what we're seeing, you know. So, you know, be on the lookout for it to happen in a city near you, um, and then in what cities. So, you know,
It's a
a
lot.
plan at play. Um, so yeah, I don't have too much to say on it right now, because I need to educate myself on, you know, the history of it all. You know,
Word,
what
word,
is
word,
legal,
word. That's fair.
not legal. You know, so
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. That's fair. The couple of things I guess for reference, and we're all going to be kind of learning, I think, as we go, because I think we all probably have different pieces of this puzzle. But uh, you said, was there another way or a better way? I wanna stay on that for a second, because that I think is what people had been that I've heard. That's what people have been questioning. Is there a better way to achieve the result that they're trying to achieve? Which the main result is to make it a safer city, to deter crime and deter criminals. That's the objective, the stated objective anyway. So, but I want to throw that out there real quick. We'll come back to that. Kev, your thoughts, man? Is overkill or overdue? What you think?
Uh, I'm much like Rich. I'm not really well versed. Um, my fight's been a little different because I'm, keeping my eye on at the education side of things. Um, and what's happening financially there, because I can feel it already. So that's like where my focus has been. So this is like something that I'm just now lightly hearing about. Uh, yeah, so I probably just don't know enough to, you know, to say how I feel. Um, like I've of course I grew up in DC. So like I won't say that it's been absent of crime, because one of my cousins was murdered. I had my last car stolen, there out of a driveway. So I know it's not devoid of crime. But I, like, in general, I think about these things a lot. Like, I think about education though, and that's, a few bad apples spoil the bunch. You know, we kind of see it the way that we teach. Like, most of the kids come to school and do what they're supposed to, but because the ones that don't do what they're supposed to make it such a obnoxious doing, they disturb, everything else around them. And I feel like, for the most part, crime looks like that. Like, yes, it's happening, but like it's a few of the majority. It's a minority in a majority that's creating a problem for the majority. So, I in my mind, I wonder, does it look like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I dig it. I dig it. Um, this is something I've been paying close attention to, as, of course, being a Baltimore City resident. This could very well eventually, and I think inevitably, probably make its way up here. So this is something that I've, kind of thought a little bit about. Um, my thought is that it's overdue. My thought is that probably something like this should have happened a long time ago. Um, I won't I won't bore you with gory details and stats and stuff like that. But what I will say is that, even though, um, people are, because you can cook, and you can cook books and statistics, right? So, what I know is that on the ground, everybody who lives in and or works in DC knows that DC is not a safe place. It doesn't matter what the mayor of really any of these cities say. Um, you know to take precaution and to proceed with caution in these cities, right? So, and to some extent, should you exercise caution in general? Sure, of course you should, because evil does exist, right? So of course you should, but also it's fair for people, I think, to want to feel safe in their city, and particularly in the nation's capital. Um, you just the you shouldn't have to worry about getting robbed at gunpoint for your car while driving Uber by a 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to worry about pre-adolescent street gangs. You know, there's just certain things you shouldn't have to worry about. And is it a deeper issue, root cause, and blah blah blah? Yeah, yeah. Single parenthood is root cause, broken family is root cause, poverty is root cause. The fact that a 2-bedroom house costs $715,000 in DC is a root cause, right? Okay, there's a lot of root causes, but also, you know, not not punishing criminals when they commit crimes is also a root cause. And so, while my overall thought is, while I don't think it's the solution, maybe not the end all be all solution. Personally, this is long overdue. And again, we all grew up in DC, lived in DC, know people in DC, and we all know stuff that's happened to people in DC. And crime happens everywhere is not an excuse. I don't think crime happens everywhere is not an excuse. So I think something like this is long overdue. Um, and if it ends up going to somewhere like a Chicago or Detroit, L.A. or Baltimore, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Okay, all right, well that's what it is. That's what it is. Is everybody a bad person? No, but I don't. I just feel like if you're not doing anything you ain't got no business doing, then it's no big deal when cops pull up. No big deal. See a National Guardsman. It's no big deal. No reason for you to be afraid. You ain't doing nothing. It's like being an American citizen being afraid of ICE. That's dumb. you know.
So let me say this, because every person that has a badge on isn't, you know, the the 100% best of the best or good doer. Um, so there's bad apples in those two, um, and I'd be curious to know, you know, who is not punishing a criminal that has been caught in the crime. Um, I'd be curious to know, like, who is actually literally like doing that, who's not punishing a criminal who's been caught, in a crime. Uh, Now, there's a difference between um, uh, uh, going about your business, um, being just a decent human being, obeying the laws, and then there's another thing where you are antagonizing on both sides. When you're antagonizing, and that's on both sides. You got a camera all up in somebody's face, and you talking A grade ish, and you come out your mouth wrong, or you spit at them, or whatever it is. Expect the result, because that's an assault. And also, but if you're on the other side and you're going up to a group who is just sitting there, and you're looking for something that hasn't even, there's no probable cause there, but you're going to make something out of nothing, that's also an issue. So, I mean, it has to be accountability on both sides, is all I'm saying.
I,
So,
I agree with you. I would say to that real quick point. In the event that that's the case, the law is on your side, right? In the event that you are actually being harassed. Like the cops aren't above the law either. Like I've been of the mentality for a while: comply and sue later. Comply now, sue later. You know what I'm saying? Comply now, sue them later. Because if you're on the side of right, if you actually are on the side of right, you actually wasn't doing nothing, and you actually are being harassed, then you actually have the law on your side, and you actually have legal recourse that you can take. Right? And so that accountability goes both ways. I don't think that the answer is, well, and I'm not saying you're saying this. I don't think that the answer is that because there are cops who are, bad apples, that we shouldn't have cops on the street. I think that's silly, in my opinion. Like, and I'm not saying you're saying that, but just the presence. Of course, there's going to be bad cops. There's going to be bad everything because there are bad people, and we're all born into sin. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yes, bad people. But that being said, what's the other alternative? We have law enforcement for a reason. If we're not going to have law enforcement, I think we ultimately have chaos. And cities like DC have kind of shown that. I don't know who was getting ready to say something. I think it was Kev. My bad.
I did want to say something. Shout out to the last comment that got posted because that was one of my concerns. It's always a moment of stigmatism, like that fear of being profiled because profiling still exists. So that was something that made me think about residents that are still in the DC area. Profiling is still real. So how safe are you supposed to feel with somebody walking around with military grade weapons on top of dealing with the fear of already being profiled by people, by the boys in blue?
Fear is false evidences appearing real. That being said, false evidences appearing real. False evidences appearing real. Again, if you aren't doing anything, you have nothing to worry about. You only have something to worry about if you are actually involved in something. Then the fear would make sense. I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying that profiling doesn't happen or any of that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, if you're on the side of right, you have less to worry about because the law is actually on your side. So yes, to answer that question, yes, I do realize. What's it say? You do realize that people who don't commit crimes are profiled. Absolutely. Black man, yeah. Up until last week, black man with dreadlocks.
I think the law needs to be taught in homes, in schools more, all of it. You know, it just needs to be like it needs to start at a young age and needs to just continue on every level. It needs to be a part of, just at home and school. Just needs to be a part of the curriculum. Period.
I think I think that's an important point. Education of the law, but also education on how to deal with police and how not to, for that matter, deal with police. Right? I mean, uh, just I'm speaking from experience as somebody who got jammed up for not dealing with the police the right way or not dealing with people in general the right way. All right, I'm saying this from experience. You know, so we also need to stop programming people to think that the cops are the bad guys. The cops are the bad guys to the bad guys. They're supposed to be. The cops are supposed to be the bad guys to the bad guys. I think we educate, but I think we also, to some extent, miseducate. Now, there is some legitimate reason to be cautious in certain areas, which I understand that. But also, that's why, for example, when you get pulled over, one of the things that at least I was taught growing up was keep your hands attended to, always keep your hands visible, right? Be respectful and so on and so forth. And I can tell you the times where I got the most jammed up were with the times when I did the exact opposite. I'm just saying. Okay. So and y'all know me, y'all know my propensity to do the exact opposite. Right. So I'm not making this bullshit up. I ain't just saying that. Right. I think we probably do need to educate, but we probably need to educate not that you know, the boys in blue are the bad guys.
So here's what I'll say on my final piece on this, because like I said, I haven't. I would have to dive deeper into some research on what's happening. Um, what is the uh, so after the end result? Because I keep saying, what is the end result? What you Trey specifically said, a safer city, or yeah, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember your exact words, but ultimately, right, safe city, people can feel safe, yeah, yada yada. Um, so what then is uh, the procedure, the program, the mechanism that is going to prevent this from happening again? And that's what I feel like um, should have been in place in the beginning. Should have been happening in the beginning. Should have been the focus. Um, you know, we're reacting instead of being proactive. This is a reaction from what's been happening. Um, and also, I mean, even on another scale, another level, I definitely do think something needs to happen. Period, because beyond just DC or these neighborhoods, or whatever the narrative is being spread out there. I mean, just look at how many public figures have even been either targeted, assassinated, attacked in different states. Um, and that was even getting out of hand. That was alarming, shocking to see, so many public figures, um, you know, come up in the news with this negativity, this assassinations and all that's going on. Definitely getting out of hand. Um, so something does need to be done. Um, so we'll see. Time is the only manifestation of truth. However, uh, we all need to um, be paying attention, learning, um, and getting preparing to get involved. Just preparing our minds, preparing. Period. And I'm not saying it as in like a scare tactic. I'm saying it as in, like, again, preparing to, teach your kids about the law, teach your kids about, you know, good, bad, all of it. Like, it's. I don't want to say it's wake up time. What I want to say is awareness time. Like, do you know where your kids are at? The people
Well,
that are
yeah,
probably
right,
the main
right,
ones crying about what's going on. So,
right,
um,
right.
I'm saying, like, you know, we're so reactive. We need to get proactive as a whole.
What does that look like? Like, what does that mean?
The
What
proactive part.
Yep.
Um, is a lot of programs. We're missing those programs in school. Like, I just think about everything that we saw growing up. So like Dare, came into our classroom. So like, and even though we considered it corny, like it still stuck with you, the drug awareness resistance education. We like did Boy Scouts early, Girl Scouts, like those things seemed a little bigger then. We took those like milestone trips, so the incentives were there in education. But like, and so I think a lot of it starts with what you see in school, because your kids spend more time with us than they do with their parents. So you know what I'm saying, like more
That's
the
the problem.
well,
That's the
that's,
problem.
but I mean, for what it's worth, it's been that way. We did 6.5 hour days, so it's not much different. Um, but we had those programs, so those programs supplemented the stuff. And then when you came home, there were healthy choices for TV. We had those family sitcoms that like touched on those same things, like saying no to drugs and HIV and AIDS awareness and protection. Like you go back and watch the Martin episodes and like those kinds of things. Like they talked about the causes. So like you just saw a lot more preventative, positive, proactive stuff all around you. And now, like those things don't exist. We don't have any drug programs that come in and talk like career days are far and in between. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a lot that you see. And like the biggest part of it, we don't have the money to support it. Like we don't have enough money for basic necessities. So, special programs are hard to come by.
So then I would then have to ask, because that's been the case for some time, right? Because obviously, it wasn't January 20th, 2025 that we suddenly ran out of money for all these things and suddenly lost these programs, right? So my question is, honest question in chat, jump in by all means, tell me your thoughts. If this isn't the way, then what is? Like what are the other options?
But well, I know one of the things that bothers me, and again, I speak from the education side because I think that goes a long way for people's choices. Like those who lack education lack choices. Um, and but like for us, like teachers are underpaid. Bus drivers are underpaid. School nurses underpaid. Cafeteria staff underpaid. Everybody that's in education is underpaid. But the people get to sit on boards, board of education, committee members, whatever the case may be, superintendents, assistant superintendents. They making crazy six figures, and they meet once a week, you know what I'm saying, and visit schools, shake hands and kiss babies. Like, and they get to hold those positions for decades with no real like evaluation on what they're doing. Meanwhile, we're evaluated every year, and like have the most direct access to change because we're in the trenches with the kids and don't make that amount. So like the money is funneling upward and not downward. Say people are getting raises at the upper levels, but we fighting to get a cost of living adjustment. It's the money, they're taking it from the top. So that's a political government thing that hurts us.
So not only, so yes, it's a reallocation of money. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a financial guru. However, I can obviously, see that it's a reallocation of money, not only just in the political spectrum, but also in the just the community spectrum. It's like what are the what are the ideas out there? What are the things that we can do as a community to pull together to get the resources for the schools what they need. What there are you know if somebody find the school that's making it work and duplicate it. Like it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be this complicated. We should be learning off of one another. What school is doing it, and replicate that, make it your own, and make that happen. Uh, it's just when money's involved, people get a little funny and things get complicated. But
Sure.
it's definitely a reality of money that needs to happen. Um, Go ahead.
I feel like it's a combination with that as well. As far as the allocation of funds, also it's what can the community do as a whole as an involvement to reinforce what's done within the school once the allocation is reached. Like, I still remember growing up in my younger years, and they had programs, say for instance, like the PAL program, where it was kind of like you still had the community involvement of kids in the neighborhood with police. it gave positive enforcement for the kids, and it also helped them know, they're there to do a job and they understand police officers aren't out to hurt people.
Oh, so you mean there was police presence?
There was police presence, but
Sure.
of course, with the lack of money, a lot of those programs have gone out of the community. So, in addition to adding money to get enforcement into the schools, like what can we do in the community to get involved to reinforce that once that's in place? I'll take suggestions. Drop them in the comments.
Speaking of the comments, let's touch on this real quick. As long as the focus is on fighting crime and not the people, meaning that there isn't a desire to move certain people out in order to move certain people in. Okay, now I'm just gonna say, in the case of DC, they've already been trying to move people out in order to move certain people in. That's why a two-bedroom house costs $813,000 in DC. Two-bedroom, attic and no basement costs $813,000. Right? I think they've already been working on that. But to that end, though, I agree, and I think that the focus is on the crime, and as long as it stays there on the crime and not on the people, but also on the people committing crime, because guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people, right? Okay, crimes don't get committed. People commit crimes. You know what I'm saying? So I totally understand the sentiment. I wanted to address that. I think that we absolutely should be about fighting crime, but at the same time, if we're gonna fight crime, I don't know that we fight crime through DARE programs. No, I mean, this as an example, just using this example. I don't know that that's the way to. I don't know that that's the way to fight crime and clean up the streets. Because the thing about it is, we had all those programs growing up, but we ain't about to sit up here and act like there wasn't no crime and drug infested neighborhoods and stuff like that when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? So, is some of it going to happen to some extent? Yes, but should it be running so rampant as it is right now? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think to some degree, what Q mentioned may be a big part of it. Uh, they were working, they had programs where they were working with police officers, right? Um, that's a different mentality versus, let's be honest, what we pretty much say about police officers. Very different mindset than fuck the police. You know what I'm saying? And so if you have a bunch of people that have that mindset anyway about the police, what pray tell should we do to clean up the streets? Because again, I'm just not sure that you clean up the streets with programs.
Well, it's
I
definitely got
don't
to
know.
be.
I'm
It's
not.
definitely,
I'm
it's
hesitant
definitely
judgment.
got
I
to
don't know.
be
I don't know that. I don't know
something that
that.
works hand in hand.
Yeah.
My fault. My fault, Rich. What'd you say? My fault. I heard.
I said it definitely has to be something that works hand in hand. Um, it's definitely got to something's got to be put in place. Uh, you can't just clean up the streets and not put something in place to for
Make sure it stays
what
clean.
happened to not happen again.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
It's got to
I
be
agree.
something that's put in place.
And so
Um,
essentially attacking the problem from both sides.
Right. Right. You got carrots and sticks. Perhaps,
'cause-
perhaps we need a little less carrot and also more stick. Not
well,
like
see,
not like the guy that was banging Rodney. Not like that. But like you know what I'm saying. Perhaps less carrot and more stick.
so what what you don't want to happen is, and of course, because a lot of kids are having kids. What you don't want to happen is, a kid to uh, see their parent taken away, and then they grow up with that stigma, and now there was no reinforcement of the why, the who, the what. They just mad and running rampant with no direction. Um, and so that's just going to create it, in some cases, an even bigger monster. And we'll be doing this again in 20 years or so. Who knows? Maybe less. Things keep happening quicker and quicker. It seems. So I'm
Yeah,
just it needs to work hand in hand.
yeah. And I think that's the problem. It's happening quicker and quicker. I think that's really the big issue. When again, you got you know killers and carjackers and thieves whose balls haven't dropped yet. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I understand people's trepidation and people's sympathies and all that kind of stuff, but also you know FIFO season is here. You know, so I've seen, and I personally have seen this week. I've seen a lot of video of people actually interacting with the feds and so on. And to be honest, they've been chill interactions, except when they were picking up someone who is a criminal and or a suspect, right? And the thing about it is, being a suspect doesn't make you a criminal necessarily. But if then you act like someone who is a criminal and you or react like someone who is a criminal, then you cross into that criminal territory. That's how a lot of people get got. That's how a lot of people get got. They might not have been doing anything. They got profiled and they got all upset, got all charged up, and then crossed into actually doing something criminal. Whether it was refusing an order or resisting arrest or whatever. But they crossed that line at some point, you know. And then the narrative just ends up being, well, they weren't doing nothing. Well, probably not at first. Anyway, my point is the point of all these people being federalized and all that stuff that I'm aware of is to be a deterrent for criminals, is to make the people who are out here trying to commit the crime think twice about it. And then this is where the carrot and stick part comes in. Once they get caught, they can't be put back on the streets, and that happens a lot. Once they get arrested, people getting back on the streets in a day, a week, a month. Right? I've spoke to some. I've spoke to some. I've seen some. I've witnessed some things happen personally, recently, as a matter of fact. Talk about that offline if y'all want to hear about that. But yeah, I've seen some stuff straight up. I'm just saying it's probably overdue. That's all.
See, because nowadays we're dealing with these younger cats who out here doing stupid stuff like following TikTok trends of kicking people's doors in. You know what used to work? Some old school community parenting.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
mom and
and,
dad
and
were
that's all a great idea until the little 12-year-old pulls out a strap. To the 10-year-old pull out a strap. That's a great idea. To the 10-year-old pull out a strap. Then you probably gonna be wishing the guy with the bigger gun was on the street. All right, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. New subject. Y'all ready?
let's go.
WNBA. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart personally. Honestly, because I am a fan of the WNBA. Not straight up. Because I am a fan of the WNBA. I am for real, for real. I have been from the beginning. I was a Houston Comets fan. I'm still mad that there's no such thing as a Houston Comets no more. Story for another time. But yeah, I like the WNBA. I'm a fan of the sport. Okay, cool. I'm also well aware of how business works. So the story with the WNBA right now is that the players have been talking about getting more money, right? Getting paid more money from the league. it looks like they're fighting more for revenue share with the new TV deals and stuff like that. The new things that are on the horizon as the WNBA tries to grow the brand right now while the iron's hot, and therefore hopefully make the one thing that they have not made in nearly 30 years a profit. With that being said, the players have been talking about getting paid more money, and the argument has been from people like myself in particular that you can't pay from a pot that's empty. When the league loses $40 million in a season and you asking for a pay raise, that's crazy talk. Well, anyway, the ladies are asking for a pay raise. And the league offered them, my understanding is they offered them a league minimum of $250,000 per player. So no play right now. I believe the league minimum. Kev, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like 65 or 66,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So from 60 something thousand to 250,000 as a minimum, as a league minimum. Okay. So the worst player would get paid $250,000, right? The story goes now that the ladies have turned that deal down and called it a slap in the face. Guess this could be a fair or foul thing, huh? All right, Kev, fair or foul? Should the ladies have turned that deal down like they did, or should they have accepted it?
They should have turned it down. Um, and I, I think I have two feelings. So one, when you're negotiating anything, you like, though there may be a data point for it, you may still feel like, and you should, I'm better than that. I'm worth more than that. My projection is better than that. Off subject, but to my point, like I'm thinking about Terry McLaurin, who is saying, "Hey, I want this new contract. Y'all need to pay me," and they're like, "Well, you are about to be 31, so like this ain't a good time to pay receivers because history has shown us X, Y, and Z fall off after 30." Fair. However, those statistics were also 2 years older, so like in college, he didn't play as much as some of those other receivers that they reference, which means there's less mileage on his legs. And with the worst people at quarterback, he had consistent numbers. And then they only elevated with time with this new person who is dynamic. So, like, everything I'm showing you is that I'm worth more. So, like, while you may have your feelings, I know what my trajectory is, and I'm going to bet on that. And I feel like that's what they're doing because the TV shares are going up, money's going to go up. Whether it leads to profit or not, it's still going up on that end. And the reason it's going up is because the people spending that money believe in the direction that the WNBA is going. So same thing. Y'all are going to pay us this with the expectation that we're going to do it, that we're going to do this. The players are saying, we want y'all to pay us this because we expect to do this and continue to grow the game. So I would fight for more money with greater belief in myself. And see where that gets you.
And you know what? I kind of side with Kev on there. Not even from the player aspect of the trajectory further on down the line, but also from a marketing standpoint. Like, has the league taken measures to try to increase buzz and increase profitability for the league? Absolutely. So coming from like your star players taking somewhere from like 250,000, would that look like a slap in the face? Absolutely, because that's drops of water in the big bucket for the league. So I got to side with Kev on that.
Show me the money. Show me the money. Projections are one thing, but what's real, what's current, what's in front of your face is another thing. I would have to know what that deal was. Was that a 250 or whatever that minimum? Was that locked in for a certain amount of years, forever? I'd have to see what the fine print is on it, because if you go from a 66,000 minimum to a 250 or whatever some odd minimum, I don't. To me, that's a stepping stone, and to me, you take that and you build upon that. Like I said, depending on the what's written in that said, contract. Is that something that's like, oh, it's going to be here for the next 25 years or something like that? Because as I said before, things are moving at a faster pace. Yes, the WNBA is growing traction and whatnot. So, I mean, you come to the deal and you counter that offer. All right, we'll take the 250,000 minimum, but here's what we project. We project we're going to be able to get this and that ratings for you. So, in the next, we expect that to go up by a certain percentage every year, for the next whatever. And you counter, and not to say that they haven't, because I don't know. I don't know what negotiations are doing right now. Um, but the way I see it is as a stepping stone. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go from a janitor to the president of the company. There's some things I got to do. In the place, and not to call them like janitors, not to call WNBA janitors or whatnot. I mean, in comparison, I guess they're getting paid like them. But I'm just saying, from my point of view, not knowing what the books look like, not knowing what those projection numbers were, what they're looking at, what is the players looking at versus what those people that are crunching the numbers behind the scenes, what projections they're looking at. The way I'm looking at it is a stepping stone. So as long as it's not locking me in for the rest of my career, I'm gonna say, okay, we gonna step this up because that benefits everybody in the league at $250,000 as a minimum. I think that benefits every player in the league, and then you build build off that. So I mean, again, it just depends on how it was written up.
Projections are not profit. Projections are not profit. I understand the thinking that, hey, there's all this new money on the horizon. I want to make sure I get in on some of that, right? And give me some of that. But the league has lost many franchises in the past. I mentioned the Houston Comets earlier, but they've lost many franchises in the past. So just because they are expanding or bringing back some franchises, while that's a sign of things heading in the right direction, there's no guarantee of any of that. Because another thing that's happening is the WNBA is the most popular that it has ever been. However, their TV ratings, their attendance, all the above got cut dramatically from the absence of one player. One player. Okay? So if I'm the league right now, everything looks great. But supposing that one player gets hurt, supposing that one player has a crisis like Michael Jordan did when he retired the first time and decides to retire before their time, quote unquote. Supposing that happens, supposing we haven't quite built the brands up to be able to stand on their own and generate the kind of money that we're talking about, because assume that happens. Let's assume that happens in the next 5 years. Then what? Then we just lose more money. So we're going to give them more revenue. We're going to give whoever it is more revenue off of projection when we have seen all those projections basically go to hell and take a bath as soon as one player isn't on the court. I think I'm with Rich that I think that's a positive in the right direction. Not, don't get me wrong; they're probably going to get something, right? They're going to get a little bit more in one way or the other. I don't think they're going to get what they're asking for. I think what they're asking for is outrageous. And my understanding is that what they're asking for is I think it's 20% of the TV revenue share. Like right now, they got 9, right? Um, I don't think they're gonna get 20. I think they'll get a little bit more. So okay, but I'm with Rich. I think you take that carrot, and you prove the projections, and then you revisit, and say, okay, now that this has been proven, and now that we know that this is going the way that it's going, we want this percentage. Make it 25, make it 30, whatever. Make up for lost time. That's what you want to do. But I think you take the step. I think them calling it a slap in the faces, and I think that's a little excessive. You got a league that's been bankrupt for the last 30 years. That if it were a men's league or a merit based league and not, you know, damn near a charity league, it would have already been out of business, like NFL Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm the league and I'm trying to actually turn a profit, yeah, I understand you guys want all this extra because the men make all that extra, but you don't. So no.
So let's look at some numbers. Um, when the league first started, right? When the league first started, they started with was it seven teams or 8? Okay, they started with 8 teams when they first started, 1997. Um, and then today they're sitting at 13 teams in the league. All right, since their inception, they have lost. Uh, of course, they added, but they have also lost 6 teams. So they've lost a total of 6 teams since 1997, which again, that their current number sits at 13. 13 teams in the WNBA, and they are on schedule to add additional teams. I think it's by 2030.
Yeah, it's like 5
Have
more.
18. They're gonna have
Is it
18.
8 teams? 8 teams?
18,
18 total.
18
Yeah.
teams total. Uh, so 18 teams total by
Oh, it's a
20.
5 more. Yeah, it's a 5 more teams. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So from 97 to 2030, 18 teams is the projection. Okay. The NBA has how many teams, Kev? How many teams?
30, right?
They got 30 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you so again, you know, I don't think it's necessarily the equality thing is not it. The math isn't mathing when you have 13 teams generating money versus 30 teams generating money. When you have, the numbers are not even the same when you just look at the amount of teams that can generate money for the organization. So I'm just saying, like, it is a numbers game and projections are projections, but you have the ability to negotiate and I think use those stepping stones. And that's just my opinion. You got to use the stepping stones. Like, so again, I don't even know what that percentage is as far as the TV deals. You know, what does it look like? Is the league trying to regain money from what's been lost over the years? Or, I don't know what that looks like, because then, all right, all these players start getting paid, from these 13 teams, these players start getting paid millions of dollars. Is that keeping or putting the league in a deeper hole? And then you have no teams by 2030. Like, what is the math? What is the math?
And I don't know that the WNBA has historical data to be able to prove that they're absolutely going to turn this profit to where paying X amount of dollars more isn't going to result in a net loss for them. They've been operating at a net loss. If it weren't for the NBA's alimony check that they collect every year, if it weren't for that, they'd have been out of business a long time ago. I'm just saying, right? And again, I want them to succeed. I'm not saying scrap the whole league. What I'm saying is I think that the players need to pump their brakes a little bit. Right? Pump your brakes a little bit. We haven't made a profit yet. Okay, you want more? You want more than 65,000 a year? Okay. Okay. Fine. Cool. 250 is a minimum because the big players, the big stars, the Asia Wilsons, the Caitlin Clarks when she renews, the Angel Reese when she renews, and all these other, they're not going to stay at 250. That 250 is a minimum. They're going to get paid a lot more than that, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So I don't know. I think the WNBA is probably going to cave and give them more. I just hope that what Rich said, that they don't end up with 0 franchises by 2035 after doing so. I hope that that's not the case.
I just,
Time will tell.
yeah, I just think that more, they need to put in more time. I mean, NBA started when? And, it's taken this long for them to get to where they're at, 30 teams. What the average salary is definitely in the millions. So, I mean, you started in the 90s.
But I think about that part too. But of course, it was a little different. The NBA's inception was quite literally peach baskets and like in a backyard. So there's like stuff that doesn't get factored in to that for some time. And then even their early travel was buses. It wasn't planes, and they weren't like going cross country overnight. So like the start of it was a little rough. Like at a point they were tape delaying games. You know what I'm saying? And so you wouldn't catch them until they felt like showing them. Like you'd learn a day or two later that a team won a championship. It was a wildly different experience. I guess the only thing, like, for us, we get a yearly evaluation and our pay will change, what I'm saying, based on the yearly or biannually, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there are bonuses, that kind of thing. Like for them, they sign a deal. How long is the deal? 10 years? 5, 7 years?
I'm
So
not sure.
yeah, so when you sign it, like you're
I think
locked
I
into
think
that.
I think it's 7 years. I want
Yeah,
to say
so like you're gonna be locked into that for 7 years. Like, and it's kind of how, like I said, it's how NFL players feel. Like you're, what I'm saying, you sign that deal, but then like once you outplay that, you want more. They're thinking of the outplaying part. And I don't expect them to think less of themselves. Like, I'm not going into my job like, oh, I'm not going to kill this. Even if it doesn't turn out that way, I'm not going in saying, oh no, give me less because I'm not going to live up to this.
But you also know your job, and I don't think you're going to go in and demand a number that is, astronomical.
Hell, if I could, I would,
Not,
because I far exceeded my job. So I would tell, hey, listen, I've done my job,
but
and I'm gonna keep doing my job.
I would also argue though, Kev, you have an option, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you said, if you were to go to your principal, whatever the process is, right, and say, y'all underpay me, I need this much money, I've done this, and this with this program, y'all need to pay me more, and they was like, hell no, you could just be like, oh, all right, bet I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach or wherever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have an option. Where they gonna go?
Well, actually, they do
It's a
pretty
big
well
city, baby.
overseas. They do pretty
Overseas,
well
okay,
overseas.
that's fair. Overseas, yeah.
They actually do a little better overseas than they do here.
Yeah,
The players
yeah.
are here because they want to be in their home country. But
Word.
they do better overseas.
Hey, listen, man. Your league here is only what 3 4 months out of the year, 4 months out of the year,
Yeah.
right? So it's 4 months out of the year. You got 8 more, right? So yeah, okay, cool. You stay here for 4 months, get your little salary, right? Go over there, you know what I'm saying? Get your extra bread, stack up from both. I mean,
I get it, but of course, if you start families and stuff like that, you don't want to have to leave them or move them every 6 months, every 8 months. So they're just essentially fighting to have a life that they can sustain here exclusively. It's like I wish I didn't have to work 3 jobs just you know, to survive. If I could just do one of those and it sustain me, that would be much better.
I mean, people be sustained on $66,000 a year. I'm just saying.
No, listen, I
Listen.
said for whatever reason,
You ain't
I
gonna be
seemed
you
much
ain't gonna be
happier
balling
making
out of
$23,000
control.
a year. It's not sexy though.
You said what now? Say again.
I said I seemed happier making $23,000 a year, but it ain't sexy though.
That's what I'm saying. Like you ain't gonna be able to get but so sexy on 66, 70, 75, 80,000 a year. But let's stop playing like 70, 80, 90,000 a year ain't some money, right? Imagine if you had to work for 4 months for 80,000 a year, 90,000 a year.
Which would be the other part, because they can't just show up on day
I mean,
one of month one in that 4 months. So
word, you
outside of
know
that,
what
you
I'm
have to
saying?
stay in peak physical condition, which costs. So you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you get you a gym membership at the YMCA. What you,
It ain't
what you, you know what I'm saying? Take your ass to running shoes. Stop playing.
Nah, to Kev's point, man, that's meal regiments and they got all types of top of the line like training facilities and trainers and all of that.
And
So
physicians.
I mean I get that. Physicians and medical stuff ain't cheap. So now
But
I,
but but but, but they
I
but
understand that part.
they're not paying for all that.
I understand that part.
I'm saying to do the extra stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? The way LeBron takes care of his body ain't the way that person 15 on the Wizards take care of their body. Like the 15th man on the
Of
Wizards
course not.
don't.
Of
So,
course
you know what I'm
not.
saying? So, if you want to be able to do that, that's stuff that goes far beyond the trainers at your facility. You know what I'm saying? The hours at your facility. It's like you said, it's somebody that does your meal prep so that your body's responding the right way. You know what I'm saying? So your dietitian, your physical trainers, like your personal, and having the equipment or space because you can't show up to Bally's at whatever, and their weights stop at some point, and their machine types stop at some point. You know what I'm saying? So the kind of stuff you need for that kind of physical activity, the taking fouls, the constant back and forth motion, joints and ligaments, and all, like you need a better facility than a run and shoot. God rest run and shoot soul.
Nope, you're muted.
Oh no.
We
Oh
drink
no.
it.
Oh no. I was
Damn.
hoping he
All
was
right.
reading to himself, but
Yeah, I was reading to myself. All right. So, um, according to Grok, right, the average WNBA salary is 147,745. Okay. The average WNBA salary is 147,745. Now I know there's levels to this because also the way LeBron takes care of his body is the way LeBron can because everybody don't got LeBron James money, right? The person 15 on the Wizards don't got LeBron James money. So there's gonna be levels to this. I get it. However, are we saying that 147,000 on average isn't enough to take care of yourself and playing overseas for much more money apparently? Are we saying that that's not enough for meal prep?
I don't know what that looks like.
Not enough for meal prep and gym membership and a personal trainer.
It depends on where you live.
On
Sure.
that level, and yeah, it does depend on where you live.
Hey,
How
I
you
guess if you're in New York, where a studio apartment is $900,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say it ain't it ain't gonna do for you in New York what it will in Wyoming.
That's fair. That part's fair. That part's fair. And also, to be fair, probably some of that salary is inflated because the higher salaries I know are in like the bigger markets, New York, Minnesota, LA, like that. So I know those are the bigger markets. So that probably also drives up the average revenue. So let's just say it's 100,000. Are we saying 100,000 a year and enough as a meal prep?
Yes.
Is some doctor visits?
Yes.
No, we are. All right. Okay.
Especially if you got a family relying on that.
Most of them ain't got no family. Two, most of them a lot of them are at the high. A lot of them are at the top.
So you saying they all orphans playing out there on the field, man? I mean, playing out on the court.
They do have families, man.
They ain't got no family. What we talking about, yo? I'm sorry. Yes, they have like parents, brothers, sisters, cousins.
They have spouses and children.
And number two, a lot of them are the top breadwinner in their family either.
No, they probably are.
No, they're not.
Or they're both in the league.
What league? If
the WNBA.
The NBA.
They're dating players.
Salaries irrelevant.
They're dating players in the WNBA.
Well, all right, but like I said, they're not the breadwinner.
No, I'm saying they are. They're both the breadwinners because they both in the WNBA.
Hell no, he's breadwinner if he in the league.
No, I'm saying two women are both in the WNBA.
That doesn't. That's like sleeping with the trans woman. If you weren't here earlier, yeah, go back and watch later. Anyway,
trying to play at a certain level, yeah, that cost is going to incur along with the other things that you got to do. And if you can't be at your house cleaning your house, then you paying somebody to clean your house. And if you can't be somewhere that needs to take somebody somewhere, then you paying somebody to take somebody somewhere. Everything costs.
Everything costs. God.
Everything do cost. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't disagree with betting on yourself, but I also think that you gotta stay in your lane. You gotta know where your bread is buttered. If it's overseas, that's what it is. You know, if everything right now is projection, if the projections start to hold, then yeah. Then let's come back to the negotiation table. But I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening either way. We'll see. I hope the league does well. I'm a fan either way. I'll be watching no matter what. So especially next year, is Juju coming to the league next year. So yeah. I'm you know,
I need Asia Wilson's shoe, and I need Juju Watkins' jersey.
Yes, sir. We had Juju, Caitlin Clark, Ionescu, Beckers, man. Listen. Some ballers. It's some ballers. And that was just to name a couple.
Because listen, if Nafisa Collier gets healthy, she walking with that MVP. She got to not be hurt. I can't. That's gonna make me sick to my stomach if she lose out because she injured.
Yeah, man, that would suck because she balled out. That definitely would suck, man. But she's a baller, man. So yeah, again, I want to be very clear. I'm not hating on the league. I'm just looking at this from a business and a financial perspective. What they're asking for does not make financial sense, in my honest opinion. It makes financial sense for them. It doesn't make financial sense overall. You know, it makes about as much sense as me going to my boss now and saying, I demand you give me a minimum salary of $250,000. You know,
nothing beats a failure but a try.
That part.
Hey, if you're gonna be asking for all that money, just you better be a great ball handler. come with some, be ready to,
Come with some what?
be ready to, handle some great D, and be able to,
Take it to
also
the hole. You gotta take it to the hole.
listen. The people. This is sports and entertainment. Okay,
So your stroke has got to be there.
all right.
The ball's got to be in their court.
And the shots got to be wet.
Making moves.
But don't double dribble.
Well, actually, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, I much prefer palming the ball. Go ahead and palm the ball. Okay, they're not gonna call carry anyway.
All right. Let me shut the fuck. Okay, all right. Before this goes too far. Yes, thank y'all. We out of here.
But wait, there's more.
Oh man. Definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys. Thank y'all in the chat, man. You guys kept it alive as always. We appreciate everybody as always. Kev, take us out.
All right. So I've done well. And this is always a rough season. So tomorrow's the anniversary of my mother's passing. So I can't stress this enough. Y'all gotta love on y'all people while you got them. Appreciate your people who are good to you while you got them, and make sure that y'all give people their flowers. Take care of yourselves and each other. But as always, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And Aquafina, when y'all ready to pay us, we can talk about it. Until then, great value water or something, anything other than that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Echo those sentiments that Kev was saying. Love on your people, man. My camp from back home, we lost a pillar, man. So yeah, love on your peoples. But one of the things I wanted to say was, definitely know your worth. We were talking about, the WNBA ladies, going for, astronomical, but hey, that's what they feel they're worth. Go for it. Just, make smart decisions. Definitely know your worth, and, go after those things you want and need.
Indeed. I ain't got much to say. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Look, always tune in. And one thing we forgot, make sure y'all hit that bell. Hit the bell. Besides hitting the like and comment, we want to make sure y'all are knowing when we post up something. And let's keep doing this every week like we always do.
And also, we've been turning up on some Deer Park, baby. This whole time, we've been turning up on some Deer Park, baby. That's what we got turned up on. So whatever you got in your cup, you get turned up on it. But tonight, we definitely on some agua.
Hydration. Agua es necesito.
Yes. Agua es muy necesito. Yeah, man. All right, listen. I don't really got a whole lot else to add, man. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us as always. We're looking forward to getting back in. Are we back? Are we back next week? Are we back next week? Next week? We gonna do next week? We'll talk about that. We'll hit something later. With that being said, make sure y'all hit the notification bell so you know for sure. But we will definitely be back, man, and we appreciate all you guys joining us, man. Always appreciate the feedback. Looking forward to these next conversations. We're going into the next school year. We got a lot going on, and there's a lot of narrative out there. There's a lot of messaging out there. All I can tell you is just believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see, because there is indeed a war for your mind out there, man. So keep your head on the swivel. Always remember to stay skeptical, stay informed, and question the narrative no matter what. Until we meet again, that's it, man. We appreciate every last one of y'all.
I got the crown on my head and it's cause I deserve it.
Time to turn up for the evening. Time to turn it down for the evening. Turn it down for the whole weekend. Right. No Aquafina. Aquafina is not necessary.
platypus is a metaphor for whatever's keeping you down. Like corporations are a platypus. Government's a platypus. Your teacher is a platypus. My teacher is a panda. Society is a platypus. My parents are a platypus. The media is a platypus. All this propaganda, yeah, we all got a platypus controlling us. It's me! We all got a platypus. I stopped it, nowadays. We all got a platypus.